okay, this might be a likely scenario that LaMarcus Aldridge could be rejoining the San Antonio Spurs.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
LaMarcus Aldridge joining the Spurs is absolutely hilarious to me. Him coming back to the Spurs is very funny, and I'll give you my take on that in a minute. Now, before we talk about this, if you guys want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link it in the description. And by the way, some people have mentioned this. They're like, "Where's all the merch?" Well, if you scroll all the way down and you click the right or down here, you can view all products, and there's way more. So yeah, so if you guys want to support the channel, link in the description, or you can just subscribe and like the video, and that helps as well. All right, let's take a look at this. So LaMarcus Aldridge open to joining coaching staff for Victor Wembanyama. Is it going to come a point where we say there's just too many cooks in the kitchen? I mean, Victor, he already got David Robinson. He got Tim Duncan. He got Tony and Manu willing to help. I mean, it's getting out of hand at this point. All right, he just got way too many mentors, and then he got Pop. I mean, he theoretically, he should be the greatest player of all time. I mean, this is just too many mentors. But with that being said, I'm just joking, obviously. But with that being said, what I find hilarious about this is LaMarcus Aldridge has been talking about the Spurs so often, to the point that he went to Australia. Don't really know what's going on here. And he asked, are any Spurs fans in Australia? So I guess he's trying to meet up. No idea what's going on. I'll be honest. I haven't looked that far into LaMarcus Aldridge as of late, but I do know he's been talking about the Spurs a lot. Now, the reason why this is funny to me is because when he was with the Spurs, all we heard from him, and you know, some Spurs fans are coming out and saying, wow, you guys really dissed LaMarcus Aldridge back in the day. Well, all we heard from LaMarcus Aldridge on his way out was how much he wants to play with Dame, how excited he is to be a trailblazer again, potentially, maybe one day, hopefully, I don't know. And he was doing that while he was with the Spurs. So, like, obviously, Spurs fans got a little turned off by LaMarcus, but I don't think any Spurs fan ever said that he wasn't a great player. Like, we all knew that he was phenomenal. Like, obviously, he's LaMarcus Aldridge. But at the time, it was just kind of like, dude, what are you doing? You're a San Antonio Spur. And I think, and this just my theory, okay? I think that after some introspection, after the issues he was having with his heart and everything, I think that he's looked back on his career and he appreciated the Spurs even more than he did while he was with the Spurs, essentially. So I think that that's kind of what it came down to. That's just my take on it. But if you're wondering why I said he could be joining the San Antonio Spurs, well, it's actually this tweet right here, in which it says, would you be open to a coaching position of some sorts in San Antonio? Player development? I think you could help Wemby tremendously. And he just said, yup. But it's not just that. Like I said, he's been on Twitter talking about the Spurs quite a bit. And I'm going to split this video in half, because there's something else that I want to talk about that he mentioned when he was talking about Popovich. But this in general, man, he's been all over our stuff. So you can see here, someone says that year doesn't get talked about enough. Spurs won 67 games. And he's like, facts. You'll always be loved in San Antonio as a person and player. All love here. And I tried to think back, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever been this excited being a Spurs fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, like 2020 or 2013, I said 2023, 2023 now. 2013 was absolutely phenomenal. 2014 was great. But I think the last time I was this excited for the Spurs was probably 2016. And that would have been, you know, having LaMarcus Aldridge and thinking that our future is set in stone, and Kawhi Leonard is about to take us to the next level. Like, that was just so exciting. And I just didn't know that we would get this feeling this quickly just after basically one tank season. I mean, the Spurs haven't been that great for a minute, but it only took one intentional tank for us to get all of this. And it's just it's so overwhelming, but like in a good way. Like, it's so awesome, dude. Like, this team is just jam-packed with future. I mean, Zach Collins is playing the best he's had. He's done in his career, right? So we're getting the best version of Zach Collins. I mean, Jeremy Sohan, I think that he'll be a star. You guys know last season he was basically my favorite player. I wanted him on the Spurs before the Spurs even drafted him. Wemby, I don't have to say anything about Wemby. And Devin Vassell, I mean, he's getting stupidly disrespected in every single list, but it's just because they didn't really get to see a big sample size of him. But we all know he made a huge jump from the season prior. Like, most things, I'm not trying to be arrogant here, but I'm just being real, okay? Most things I feel like I'm pretty right about, like at least my takes. Most of the time I'm pretty right. You want to bring up Primo or whatever, that's fine, but at the end of the day, I didn't know that. I mean, there's no way I could have known about that, but I still believe that Primo would have been really good. But with that being said, Devin Vassell, he's the one where I was just completely wrong about. Like I was hopeful for, but I always thought, I was like, well, you know, his space creation, it isn't the best. You know, he's not super creative offensively. Completely wrong. I mean, his facilitation skills on another level. His anticipation on offense has gotten better. His defense has even gotten better. And we knew that he was a good defender, but that's even gotten better. But the small sample size that we got this season, we know that he's going to be something serious. And him along with Wemby is just absolutely mind blowing. Can you imagine? Look at this start. Look. These are 4 starters that we're getting right there. Is that Keldon back there? I can't tell if that's Keldon or Malachi, but these are 4 starters right here. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Sohan's coming off the bench. Wemby definitely isn't. Devin Vassell isn't. Zach Collins isn't. This has been confirmed, by the way, with Wemby starting at power forward. So that we can confirm that Zach Collins is going to start at center. So yeah, this is our starting lineup. And I have to say, this is stupid impressive. Who's scoring on them? I don't know. And then if you start Trey Jones, I don't know who scores on this team. It's just too stupidly impressive. I don't know. I have no idea. And people might not like this or when I say this, but like Wemby can guard 1 through 5. Like I wouldn't consistently put him on a 1 through 2. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting him on a 1 or 2 consistently, but he can guard 1 through 5. He can. He's done it. He's shown it. He's proven it. In the French league, he's even shown a little bit sample size of that in the summer league, and the coaches experimented with that. He can do it, which is just insane to me. Like it's just too much versatility. I don't know who scores on this team. Now I don't think that the Spurs are going to be like great, you know, when it's all said and done. I don't think they're going to be putting up, you know, crazy win shares or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, I do think that this is going to be a pretty good team. I'm sorry, I kind of went off the rails a little bit. LaMarcus joining the Spurs would be so cool. It will really help Wemby, I think. But man, he got so many mentors already. If he doesn't join, I don't think it hurts. But it's obviously a net positive if LaMarcus come back to the Spurs. Like that would be great. And I think the Spurs would like bring him back with open arms. I don't see why they wouldn't. But anyways, I'm sorry. That's just a little rant. I'm just excited. I'll give it to you guys later. Till next time. Bye.